كتاب الله لا شيء سواه يهذبنا العمل به كتاب الله لا شيء
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. This is verse 111 of Surah At-Tawbah. Indeed, Allah has purchased from the believers their persons and their wealth. In return has promised them paradise. They fight in the cause of Allah and slay and are slain. This is a true promise which is binding on him, mentioned in Torah, the Injeel and the Qur'an. And who is more true in fulfilling his promise than Allah? Rejoice therefore in the bargain which you have made, and that is a mighty achievement. Now we find that in this verse, the course of the Quran has turned from the munafiqs to the sincere and true Muslims. Allah says that He has bought the lives and wealth of a mu'min in return of Jannah. We find that in any kind of trade, no matter how big or small it may be, the method is the same, that you pay something in order to get something. In dunya, people sometimes indulge in fraud and get something without paying, but this fraud cannot work with Allah. You just have to give to achieve His pleasure and Jannah, and the price of Jannah is your life and your wealth. What does giving your life and wealth mean? That they are used for Allah's pleasure. Our wealth, our time, our energies, our talents, our knowledge, all that Allah has given us, all the faculties Allah has bestowed upon us, our houses. Then before I speak, I need to think, because my speech belongs to Allah. Before I hear anything, I need to think, because my ears belong to Allah. Before I see anything, I need to think, because my eyes belong to Allah. Before I do a deed with my hands or feet, I need to think, because they too belong to Allah. He has already bought them if we want Jannah. Just like, for example, you sell a house of yours to someone, and after selling, can you say to that person that no, I will decorate it the way I want to? No, you have no right over it, because you have sold it. Similarly, the one who wants Jannah has to sell his soul to Allah. He has no right over it. So this is a contract between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and a person. If a person violates his part of the contract, then Allah too has a right to violate his part of the contract. Who are the people who sell their lives and wealth for Allah? Allah says that they are those people who do jihad for Allah's deen, and they don't care even if they have to give their life for it. These people don't just sit back and say we love Allah. They prove it. They do jihad, and this is the supreme manifestation of Allah's love. This jihad is not just the military jihad, and we can't go and fight in the war. Then how can we do this jihad? By spreading His word, by learning His word, by implementing His word in our lives and those around us. Now people who stick to their part of the contract, then Allah promises them Jannah, and the authenticity of this promise is proved by mentioning 3 books, meaning that this promise is present in these 3 books, the Torah, the Injeel and the Qur'an. In dunya, we see that when we present an ideology, then in its research we give proofs that look at such and such book, such and such source, and if it has to prove a theme, you give a reference of 3 original books, then your theme becomes strong and acceptable. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to prove the authenticity and truthfulness of His promise, gives reference of 3 books. Once Hazrat Abu Zar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu asked Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that which deed is the best, and he replied, Iman on Allah and Jihad fi Sabilillah. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said that going out for Allah in morning and evening is better than whatever there is in dunya. This is an investment in which there is no chance of loss, but always profit. There is not a threat of loss. We fear loss in any trade of dunya, but there is no fear of loss in this trade, provided that your intention is correct and the method is correct. And the end of the verse says that those who have indulged in this trade should rejoice and be happy in what they have invested.